Hi guys, so I was looking through my videos, my camp videos, and I realised this time last year when I was trying to look for advice and like things to help me with like getting ready for my first time at camp, I had to look through a lot of videos to get all the information, which was a bit time consuming. So this video, hopefully it's going to be the only video you need to watch for camp. Everything you need to know. We're talking packing, visa, phone and SIM card, debit card, like how to spend money there, how you get paid, a typical day in the life, days off, post-camp travel, dealing with homesickness, how to deal with like pre-camp nerves, and just like general advice. Yeah. And honestly, last year when I was going to camp for the first time, I would have loved a video like this explaining everything. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not going to do how to apply the interview process, that sort of stuff, but if you want I can do a video with that as well. But this video is for if you've got your camp placement and everything, you're just like unsure of what to do now. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Okay, so firstly, just for a bit of background, I went to camp for the first time ever last year. Camp Laurelwood. It was a Jewish camp based in Madison, Connecticut. I worked as a day camp counsellor, which is like a general counsellor, but it was only for day camp. So we went overnight in like a bunk with the kids. This video is going to be a little bit tailored to that, but also I'm sure it can be used for any camp specialty. Okay, so the first thing I thought we could talk about is packing. I do have a camp packing video on my channel already, but now that camp's already happened, I'm just going to go through like the main things that you need that I think are really useful. So first of all, definitely bring bug spray. I know a lot of people say buy bug spray over there, but first couple of days you're not really going to be able to go to Target. It's like staff week, so like you stay on camp. And those first couple of days, the bug spray that I bought from home for those couple of days saved my life. Everyone was getting bitten and I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be a piece of cake. I did get bitten a bit later, but that's fine. So yeah, definitely bring bug spray. The second thing is plug adapters. If you can, try to bring like an extension cable thing, because there's like a few plugs per cabin and everyone wants them. And the one person in our bunk that brought an extension lead literally saved us. So yeah. Also mirrors. I brought a mini mirror and it saved me, because there's like one, if you're lucky, 2 mirrors per bunk and everyone's using them in the morning. So I had like a mini mirror this big. You can see it in my packing video, but that saved my life because every morning I would just use that mirror. One thing I definitely recommend is long clothing. So like leggings, long thin-ish sweaters, because we spent a fair bit of time, especially at night time, by the lake, and insects love biting you by the lake. I don't know what it is, but they love it. So to stop getting bitten, I would wear long clothes. And also, it gets kind of cold. I know a lot of people are like, it's summer, it's America, you're gonna be warm. There are cold days and there are rainy days, so bring long clothes. Another thing is lots of pairs of socks and lots of underwear, because I heard absolutely everyone talking about how camp literally loses socks. And I was like, you know what, it's fine. People are exaggerating. Girl, it's not an exaggeration. Socks literally get lost. You put socks in the laundry and you get like half back. Don't know where they're going, but yeah, bring lots of socks and underwear. Another thing that I would definitely recommend is like spirit wear and coloured clothing. Your camp will hopefully give you a list of like theme days, and I think it's really fun to plan for those. Don't go overboard. But if like you have a cowboy day and you decided you wanted to bring like cowboy boots, I think that's a really cute idea. Say you have like a whiteout event, bring white clothes. Small stuff like that can really like make you feel part of camp. I definitely did not regret bringing my cowboy hat and like cowboy boots, even though they took up like half my suitcase, because it's just a really fun thing to take part in. But the one thing I will say is do not overpack. You don't need that many clothes. Half the clothes that I brought with me, I did like get rid of when I left camp, or just like donate to camp, because I was traveling after and it was just a waste of space in my bag. So you only really need like a couple of sports bras, a couple of sports tops, a couple of shorts, and then like a couple of outfits to like go out on days off, a couple of evening outfits, and like outfits for post travel if you're planning that. Mainly stuff that you'll be comfortable working in, because I guarantee you halfway through camp you're not gonna care. You're not gonna care what you look like. You're just gonna be like putting on mismatched clothes and like getting out of the bunk. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to a typical day at camp. So if you're with the kids, you need to wake them up and get them ready for breakfast at 8 AM. Breakfast was served at 8 AM. Because we were in a staff cabin, we just had to wake up and be present for breakfast at 8. And then after that, for day camp specifically, we would have breakfast, go to like the drop-off place, and then wait for our kids to come. So it was me and my co-counselor, and we each had like 10 to 15 kids. My kids were like 4 to 6 years old, and they were adorable, and I miss them. But yeah, we'd wait for them to arrive. We would then take them to activity 1. And these activities could range from like indoors, like drama, media, any of those things, and also like basketball, pickleball, sailing, swim. Yeah. So we took them to the first activity. They would then have a snack break because they were hungry all the time, and they would always ask, "One snack break," which was again adorable. And then second activity, lunch. Now for lunch, camp did provide lunch, but our kids, being like 5 years old, did not want that lunch. 90% of the time they did not want that lunch. They'd always ask for a PBJ sandwich. So there we would be, me and my co-counselor, during our lunch break as well, just making like 10 to 15 PBJ sandwiches. Yeah, so the entire lunch break was kind of spent making sandwiches, and we were kind of exhausted by the end of it, but it's fine. Therefore, it's kind of adorable. Then after lunch, it would be lunch hour. For littles, we would have like, they basically just play around outside the cabins. We also had swim after lunch break every single day, Monday to Friday. So we thought ahead, and we were like, let's get these kids changed in lunch break so we could just be ready and on time for the kids to go swimming. And then we took them to swim, which is the third activity of the day. They had swim, then they had snack break again, but honestly, we were trying to get them changed back into their normal clothes, which took up not only snack time, but some of the time allocated to the fourth activity. Can't blame them, they're like 4. So then we took them to the fourth activity, and then after that it was home time. So we'd basically just stay at drop-off again and wait till all the kids left. This was like 5:30 PM, and then we would get free time until dinner, which was like 6:30 PM, unless we were on aftercare, which is like the parents can choose to keep their kids there until like after dinner time, so like 7:30. And then after dinner time we would have like a camp meeting very quickly, just for day camp, and then we would just help out the overnight counsellors with like their activity, and that usually went on till 8:30, 9 PM. And then curfew was 9:30 till 12:30, so we could basically leave camp at this time and just do whatever. We had to be back in bunks by 12:30. Yeah, so that's a general day. So I'm going to talk about time off now. They do tell you how much time you get off in your camp contract, which should be given before you leave for camp. For day camp counsellors, time off was pretty much every day, Monday to Friday, 9:30 PM to 12:30 AM, because we didn't have kids. We did get some ODs, but most of these were like punishment ODs. You basically have to stay with the kids in the cabin from 9:30 PM to 12:30 AM, so basically during your free time. This would be limited to like 1 to 2 times per week, usually once. There were some weeks where I didn't get it at all. And we also get 1 rest break per day. So this could be activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, or activity 4, or lunch break. But you had to take the kids to the activity and then be back in time for the end of the activity. So it wasn't really a whole break. So this is like what you think you're getting, and then this is what you actually get. Yeah, but regardless, it's a lot of time off. You're going to the camp to be with the kids, so. And then weekends, we would work until 4:30 PM on a Saturday, and we'd get until 12:30 AM on Sunday, or Monday, you know. So we'd basically get like the whole weekend. And you could go anywhere in this time. I remember on the Saturday, we did take a coach all the way from Madison, Connecticut to Boston. And then we came back the next day, and yeah, that was crazy. So yeah, that is time off. Phones and like SIMs. So our phone policy at camp was we could have our phones on us, but we couldn't use them in front of the kids, which I feel like most camps are going to have that rule. But we didn't have to give them in or anything, which was nice. So we could use them during rest breaks and everything, as long as we weren't near the kids. And signal was pretty good, especially for being in the middle of nowhere. As for SIM card, I got the 3-month plan of Mint Mobile, which they were doing £45 for unlimited data for 3 months, which is really good value. So I just did that, and then I called and text people on WhatsApp for back home. And for like people at camp and everything, I just used Snap. So the only thing I really needed anyway was data. And yeah. Okay, so next is paying. So like spending money at camp and like getting paid by camp. So camp actually paid us into a crowded account, which they set up for us. And it was really easy to like add this to Apple Pay. So you could just pay with your phone wherever you go. So they'll pay you 33% 1 month into camp, and then the second month into camp they'll pay the rest. The one problem with this, however, was I did know a lot of people that didn't get paid straight away. Like there was an issue with crowded. So I wouldn't rely solely on this. I definitely bring money as well, like cash, Revolut, like they do free transfers to USD. And with Revolut you can pay with Apple Pay as well. You can just pay money in from your bank account to Revolut, and then also you can like transfer other people at camp. Yeah. Also, I did not get paid a lot for working at a summer camp. So I would not just rely on that money. I mean, definitely bring a bit with you. Because I remember I got paid my second paycheck and I used it in like a week at Nashville. Yes, I have a spending problem, but also definitely check and be honest with the amount of money you're getting from camp, and like plan ahead with how much money you need to bring. I brought about £1,000 with me at the start, and then camp paid me like about £990 for the entire summer. So that's like 2,000, and I spent like 2.5 months there. And the first 2 months food and board were already provided for me. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is homesickness. And guys, they don't exaggerate about this. So the thing that helped me most, I think, with homesickness was FaceTiming people a lot. I FaceTime people like during every single rest break that I had every day. So yeah, definitely calling people from home, FaceTiming people from home. I looked at pictures as well, so like I printed out pictures, I decorated my bunk with them. And one thing that really helped was my sisters, before I left, they gave me a bunch of letters. And the letters basically said like, open when you're happy, open when you're sad, open when you're broke. Because they know me that well. So yeah, I used to read those and reread those a lot, and they really helped me, so thank you. And one thing I would also say is talk to the people at camp, because chances are they're feeling a similar way. And it's always nice to like talk with each other and share your problems. So yeah, that's my best advice for homesickness. Okay, so the next thing is pre-camp nerves. I get it. You've flown halfway across the world, you don't know anyone, and you're in an unknown location. But camp knows. Camp has like dealt with this every year. When I tell you, literally as soon as I arrived, I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? What have I just got myself into? And then the next day, we were straight into Internationals Week. We met people from all over the world. We did a bunch of fun activities and like icebreakers. So then we went to Target. We did like the cliche American barbecue. We had like beach days. We went shopping. We did karaoke, which you can see I had a lot of fun. And we just got really into American culture. So I promise you, by the end of the first week, you're gonna have made so many friends and memories that you'll forget all about your nerves. And that's only the first week. So you have the entire summer. That's how I felt. It's honestly such a surreal experience, and I cannot recommend it enough. Okay, so next is post-camp travel. So most people will use their pocket money or the money that camp pays you to fund their travels after camp. And with the J1 visa, which is like the camp counselor visa, what most people will be on, there's a 30-day grace period where you can basically travel wherever you want within the US, which I took advantage of. I travelled for like 2 weeks after. So I travelled to Nashville for a week and to New York for a week. And the one thing I would say about this is book early. We had one girl that just took the initiative, and like 2 or 3 weeks into camp, she booked us like an Airbnb in Nashville. It was like 2 Airbnbs like next to each other. So as a result of booking early, we did get a really good deal. And then we also booked our flights at this time as well, so they were kind of cheap as well. Also, you're definitely going to want to travel with your friends from camp after, because last day of camp is kind of heartbreaking. So if you know you're going to be with them after, it makes it a lot easier. And at the end of camp, you'll probably be way too tired to try to plan everything. The sun is really annoying me, but it wouldn't be one of my videos if the sun wasn't doing that. So the one piece of advice I would give you is to just enjoy it. I was told when I arrived last year that the first time you go to camp is honestly like magical. When I was told that, I was like, okay. And now looking back, I get it. Honestly, like, everything's so new and you're experiencing everything for the first time, and it's honestly amazing. The feeling is unmatched, but you don't really see that until it's over. So I would definitely say try not to be nervous, try to like live in the moment and be optimistic, because a lot of the camp stuff you're like but I definitely say just try to be optimistic about the whole thing, like appreciate it. Don't be scared if like it's cringy or whatever, just do it, because it is like a camp bubble and the only people that are really seeing you are inside this camp bubble. And yeah, I think it's a really wholesome and fun activity to do in summer, and you're giving a bunch of children the best summer ever as well. Honestly, it's such a good job. I'm so glad I did it. So yeah, just try to have fun, and I promise you, you'll be fine. Please don't worry about it. Anyway guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you found these tips useful, and I hope they helped you in some way. Let me know if you want a video on like how to apply, the interviews, that sort of thing. And yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you later. Bye. Mwah.